Please stand and do pledge allegiance with us. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you. You got Susan on the phone?
Yep, she should be on there.
Okay, Susan?
Good morning, Brian. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Here's our
Great.
clerk.
Thank you.
She stepped out your truck.
Hold on a second, we gotta get our clerk in here.
Hand you guys a paper while we're waiting?
Sure.
I'll leave one for Mr. Smith.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Morning, Lucy.
Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Mr.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Let the record show. Susan's on the phone. Jorgensen's absent. Jones is here, Wickman's here, Shea's here. Okay, everybody look over the consent agenda. We've got what'd you call this? We're good? Okay, okay. Need a motion to approve the agenda?
Make that motion.
Second.
Okay. A motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. Those opposed? Sorry. Motion carried. What I forgot to do was read the public comment policy. If there's anybody from the public that wants to make comment to the board, they will need to go over to this table and read the script and then fill out the form to make the public comment. At the end, we'll reserve about 30 minutes for public comment, but you only get 3 minutes to speak on your topic. Okay. We have no new hires here today, correct? Okay. First up, Mitch Kai, Chief Financial Officer, public hearing on the authorization of a loan agreement and the issuance of notes to evidence the obligation of the county thereunder not to exceed $6 million general obligation capital notes and to sign resolution number 15/2026 instituting proceedings to take additional action.
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Okay. Would you do a roll call, please?
Chairman Shea,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Jones.
Aye.
Okay. Is there anybody from the public that wants to speak on this $6 million bond issue?
What's it about?
It's about, the radio towers and 911 and all that. We spent 16.3 million on, we had to get new towers, go to the ISIC system and get new boards and everything for the 911 system downstairs. We had to. The ISIC system is a statewide system. We were one of the only counties in the state that is not on it. And in doing so, we had to build 2 new towers is what we got to do, and all the other equipment with it. And that allows us to communicate with the state patrol, the fire departments, everybody, instead of bouncing off and going back and forth. And that system's going, the old system's going away.
You've already spent 16 and you want to spend 6 more,
We've got, we're,
The total project was 16 million. We're spending 10 of our own and bonding for 6 of it.
or? Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Just didn't know.
yeah, it's nothing we like to do, but I kind of force you into doing some of this stuff, you know? Okay, anybody want to speak? Is there anybody opposed? Anybody for? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to close the meeting.
Second,
Will you do another roll call, please, Jamie?
Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Jones,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
aye.
Okay, motion carried. Let's see. What I need now is a motion to approve and authorize the board to sign Resolution 18, 2026, instituting proceedings to take additional action. Resolution instituting proceedings to take additional action for the issuance of not to exceed $6 million general obligation capital. Whereas pursuant to notice published is required by law, the Board of Supervisors has held a public meeting and hearing upon proposal to institute proceedings for the authorization of a loan agreement and the issuance of not to exceed $6 million general obligation capital loan notes for the essential county purposes in order to provide the funds to pay the cost of acquisition, construction, and installation of peace officer equipment and other microwaves or other emergency services communication equipment and systems, including new towers, equipment, microwaves, consoles, and is considered the extent of the objections received from residents or property owners as to proposed issuance of notes. And following action is now considered to be in the best interest of the county residents thereof.
Brian, I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 18-2026.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, would you do a roll call, please, Jamie?
Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman,
Nay.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Jones.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. Thank you. Next up, Mitch Kai, Chief Financial Officer, discussion under decision to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution number 15, 2026, authorizing the issuance of 6 million general obligation capital notes or loan notes, series 2026, and levying a tax for the payment thereof. Need a motion to approve?
I do want to explain this a little bit. So we do have to go through the resolution here to approve a levy. But and that's because the bond has to have some collateral. Because we have to repayment to use the levy. But since we have the funds that we're going to pay the debt service with, we won't actually be sending that bill out to the property owners. We'll still be absorbing that in-house, but for the sake of the legality of the bond, we still have to pass the levy, just so it has collateral, so it can be sold.
Okay. Questions? I need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Would you do a roll call, please? Amy?
Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman,
Okay.
Supervisor Jones.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Lucy Huff, Prevention Coordinator, and Carrie Astro,
Actually, it's now Mandy Maher.
Okay,
She is our new regional director,
Andy Mayor.
Maher.
Regional Director, Iowa State Extension and Outreach. Update on Speak Up, Be Safe program and to request funding. Lucy, you're up.
Thank you. Are you gonna, can you start that, Mitch? Okay. Today, we are going to talk about the funding. We need funding, obviously, and then review last year, which normally I do in January, but because the Extension Council wasn't sure which direction they wanted to go, whether they keep the program or not keep the program, how much they wanted me to actually ask for today, we decided to delay till now, so we actually have those right figures before we came before you. So you can go ahead and do the slide, Mitch. Last year was the first year we had every school in Council Bluffs District do the program, as well as all the rural schools, Lewis Central, and then St. Paul Lutheran does it as well. So the only people we are not hitting right now are St. Albert, and they just choose not to do the program, which does happen sometimes, that they just feel they can do it in-house, or they just don't want us to be presenting there. Next slide, please. So there's the number of students we saw last year of 6,618, and they are broke down on that sheet that I gave you. And that will make more sense as we go along as to why we do need additional funding and why it doesn't really work for the schools to do the program themselves. We had 20 disclosures with 8 of those accepted. And also keep in mind, sometimes those are the actual ones that we called into DHS. Sometimes we don't call into DHS because we go directly to the Council Bluffs Police or the Pot County, especially when it's a neglect situation. And most of the abuse you see anymore is actually neglect. That's a good percentage of what is called in, or that we see nationwide is neglect is your top one. So we did that with 3 facilitators. So we had a really busy year last year. And that is a record number for us to see that many students in what was from October to May, we saw that many students. So we were busy. Next slide, please. So here are some of the comments they say to us, and I think you guys have all of that in front of you. I think did she give you a copy of everything in there? And there's a lot of other comments as well. We do get some that they feel we rushed it a little bit. We used to be a 4-day program. We went to a 2-day program to be a little more efficient. So we felt like that's a lot of their complaint is we rush, we push. We don't get to do as much role playing with the students. And while that's unfortunate, we're still getting the fundamental pieces of being safe out to the kids by doing it in a 2-day program. So we can go to the next slide now. So here are some facts that are just there, and there's that abuse. 59% of abuse is neglect, and we do see that. Kind of disturbing is that 76% of abusers are the parents of a child or someone they know, and that really is true. And that is even true with your sex trafficking or human trafficking. It is a good majority, over 50%, is someone they know, whether it's a friend, a relative, or a parent that actually does sex traffic these children. So we do have to look at that and try to empower these kids with the fact that you have the right to say no, you have the right to walk away from that. And the other one there that's just amazing to me is that each child abuse case can carry a lifetime cost of up to $1 million. Just with all the, a lot of times it's because they've gotten in trouble because they don't know any better, so they continue to replicate what they've been taught or what is instilled in them. And then, of course, all the mental health issues they have and things like that. So, but a small percentage is the sexual and physical abuse, surprisingly. But once again, that big one is that neglect. It's just, and we see it pretty prevalently here in our county, that there are a lot of kids that are neglected. They're not just getting those basic things they need to be safe and healthy. So let's go to the next slide. And then last year we were asked by one of the board members why we do not do, the schools don't teach it themselves. So the American School Counselor Association recommends 250 students per counselor. There's your national average at 457 to 1. The Iowa average is 391 to 1. There is a lot of research out there that proves to us that when a program is presented by someone that's not in that building, it does become a little more, they're a little more open. And I've done this for 29 years, and I can tell you that's true. And why it's true is because those kids don't know us. They see us walk in, and they may have seen me the year before, but I don't know anything about their family. So when we walk in there and they want to tell me something, I am the no judgment zone to those kids. They answer questions that were given to us by the county attorney's office. There's specific questions. We can't go beyond those questions because we don't want to impede an investigation. And if we ask too many questions, that can certainly make a difference when you're trying to get a kid out of a situation that's not very safe. They also believe that multiple disciplinary approach and an outside source presents core prevention content, and counselors provide direct support. So what happens in the schools we go to, once we get a kid that discloses, we go to the counselor first and talk with them, because a lot of times they know the history of that family. And yes, we were aware. Yes, this is what's happening. And then we don't call it in. If they aren't aware of it or they feel it needs to be called in, so we really work a lot with those counselors to make sure we are doing the right thing for each individual child that's out there. Next slide, please. I do want to go back for a second, because that other one, when we talk about 250 per counselor, and it's 391 students, 391 to 1 in Iowa. If you look at what I gave you from last year, some of these are under that 391. And I'll point out particularly Lewis and Clark. They share a counselor with Hoover. So that Hoover person who's got, she's got over 350 there. She has those additional kids. Also at Lewis and Clark, that's only their pre-K through second grade. Their third through fifth choose not to do the program. So they do have more students there. It's just that those are the only ones that want to do the program. I've tried to step in there and get them to do a little more. They really aren't willing to do that. Carter Lake is right about where they need to be, and they are a little under that this year. I think their enrollment must be declining some, because they are under that, a little bit under that 250. So she's fortunate that she's able to really give those kids the time that they need. So that's why I wanted to go back to that. When you break that all down, how important that is, that we don't have very many schools that are under that, at that 250 to 1. If you notice, Titan Hill is at almost 900, and that's just their second, third, fourth, and fifth grade. They do have 2 counselors there, but they're still on overload up there. They have a lot of kids up there. So that one does show a lot, but they do have 2 there. Okay, Mitch, thank you. And then a reactive versus proactive system. A reactive system is focused on treatment and intervention after the abuse. So it's after we have found out about it and, oh my gosh, what are we going to do about it? If we do a proactive, which is what we feel we are, we're giving those kids those pieces they need before the abuse occurs. And if the abuse does occur, they know they can go to someone for help. There's a lot of grooming that goes on up to a place where a kid might be severely abused or even abused at any point. And if we can empower them with some knowledge of this is what it might look like and this is what you can do to stop it, we can stop some of that before it gets to that point that they're actually being sexually or physically abused, or if they're being neglected, they figure it out. Example, a person at a school since it's January, went to the teacher 10 days after we were gone and said, I think we're being neglected. I've been thinking about what they said to us, and they did a well person check. They were being neglected, and they pulled the kids out of there. And that certainly does not mean mom will not be getting them back. What it means is they're going to give mom some tools to help her make sure she's giving those basic things that you need to not, your food and water, your attention that you need. That you're getting a bath on a regular basis, you have clean clothes to wear, you have a place to live that has heat in it. Those things that sometimes I don't think some people really realize that's neglect, but it is. And so that's why we try to do the proactive rather than the reactive system. Next slide, please. So 25-26, we had $30,000 total that we were funded to us. The remainder did come out of extension council general funds, and our general funds are running low, and I think Mandy can address that a little more. This year, what we're asking is, Matt Wyatt has already very generously given us $15,000. We are asking for an additional $10,000 funding from the county. With what the extension council general funds do, that will let us go for another year. If we don't find that additional funding, the program, and Mandy can probably address this a little better than myself, the program will probably go away.
Lucy, did we give you money last year?
No. are grateful for the 15,000 that Matt always figures out a way to give us every year. And we are really grateful for that.
It didn't come directly from me. It's from the Board of Health. It's just figured in the budget.
Thank you, Matt, for clarifying that you didn't write me a check out of your checking account or from you. But yeah, that's how he does it. But we do appreciate that money. So in closing, and you can go to that last slide, please, for me, Mitch. I want to thank Matt and the county attorney's office. They do help us a lot. Rob Ambrose is there. He is a gem. He's the one that really helps us. He walks us through a lot of things that helps us go the right direction. We had one here recently. I didn't even have an answer. I spent an hour on a Saturday looking up stuff, trying to figure out what to do. We ended up calling Rob. Rob said, this is your course of action you need to take. And that's exactly what we did. It was exactly right. So we do appreciate Rob being there because he is a really good source for us to go to before we have to take it to the next step. And of course, all the supervisors, we are appreciative of you and all you do for us in the county. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask me or you can welcome to ask Mandy as well.
Hi.
I think we had this discussion last year that when it focused on economic development benefits, there really isn't any here. I think that's one of the reasons that we didn't fund it last year. Matt, how are you able to provide funding?
It figured into the public health budget for this. We figured we have allocated in the public health budget for this program for 5 years,
Okay.
I believe. And the reasons on why we support it through public health is because it helps reduce ACEs scores for these children. And we know that the lower ACEs scores that children have, the healthier of adults that they grow up to become. And so it's a good public health initiative for us to be a partner with them on this program.
And Mr. Wickman, we did go to the schools and ask, because that was one thing that was asked of us last year, to go to the schools. And they just don't have the funding to do it. They really don't. And they're very frank about that. They're like all of us are, you're at a limited amount of money. All the ones that have reached out have come back with, we just don't have the funding to be able to do it. And we went in with a pretty low figure, them to even pay for part of it. And they just don't have the funding for it. They do all of our printing. Each school does. We do no printing, except for St. Paul Lutheran Church, which is those 13 kids. I do print those for them. But everything else is funded by Council Bluffs Schools with the printing. And that's a big piece of it, is that printing part. It does cost $225 per student through the Child Help Speak Up, Be Safe, who we use out of Arizona. That's what they charge us per student. And then Mandy probably has more of those direct costs of like salaries and things like that. So, but we did what we were asked to do. We were asked to go to the schools and ask, and we did that. We have tried getting the AEA to take it, and they just didn't see it feasible for them to hire someone and do the training. And it takes a lot to build those relationships up. And that's what I've done, is I've built relationships with all these schools and these counselors that they know it's a good program and they believe in it. For the Green Hills AEA to take it, I think would have been really difficult to try to bring someone in, train them on the program, figuring out how to do the scheduling and doing all those kinds of things. And they just weren't in a position to take it. So we have tried.
And, I appreciate everything you do. I really do. I think it's a worthwhile program.
Yeah.
We're charged with justifying an economic development benefit. We're also fully aware that the state's cutting us too.
Exactly.
And we're going to rely a little more on our, in my opinion, we're going to rely a little more on our gaming revenue just to operate this county. And I think that if Matt can provide you that 15, and you can't get anything from the schools, right? That's we.
But I look at it, that printing is a huge piece of this. If we had to pay for all that printing, our budget would increase quite a bit. It's expensive. They also deliver it all to the schools for me. So we just get the prep stuff ready. I deliver that. Everything's taken to every teacher, which is truly, that is a big piece of this, especially in those Council Bluffs and the Lewis Central District. Those are big pieces of it.
The total cost of the program last year was a little over 80,000. And I assume that's not much different than the cost has been for multiple years going back. So that's a huge investment that the Extension Council has made over the years. And we truly believe, and I think Lucy's done a nice job of outlining the benefits to the county of a program like this over decades, as those youth grow into hopefully healthy, functioning adults that contribute to your economic development.
And the $80,000 is just specifically for this program. It doesn't cover any operating costs, correct?
So the 80,000 would include the salary and benefits of the staff that are presenting the program. And then the cost of the materials that Lucy mentioned, aside from the copies that the schools provide. So there's a curriculum cost, and then the wages and benefits are obviously the biggest chunk.
It seems kind of low for 3 employees.
They're not all full-time. So actually, none of them are full-time. Lucy, you're at about 30 hours a week.
About 3/4 time.
And then right now we have an additional half-time. Last year, were they both half-time?
Correct.
Yeah,
So
so we're at
what
about
kind-
1 3/4 FTE.
Okay, so the benefits can't be that much then for a,
None of them are
Part-time.
taking insurance, so it's just your IPERS and then your taxes.
okay. And you said you're asking the county for 15,000? 10,000?
Or as much as you want to give, we would be happy to use it.
I do think, I wasn't at the meeting with the Extension Council, but I do think they really tried to pare that down as low as they could, what they felt they could absorb, but what the additional that we would need to be able to continue having the program available to everybody. So this year also, we did, we had a third person till December, and she chose to go a different direction. So now it's just myself and another person doing everything. So it's been good, but it's been also some adjustment, especially with my schedule, trying to get all my data in and on time and be timely with that, as well as trying to teach and then help her out when I can. So, but we have changed it around a lot to make it happen with 2 people instead of 3. We used to have 4, we went to 3, now we're down to just myself and another person.
And I think, Lucy, just a few years ago, wasn't it that you were only in a few of the schools?
Correct.
And based on the county, based on the funding that we're able to help provide them with, that's what's helping them expand to all across to our rural schools and be able to keep it all across the county. I think is one of the biggest benefits that we're seeing out of that part of it is the reach that we have now with it.
And thank you for mentioning that, because as the Extension Council has explored ways to make this more affordable, we've talked about paring it down, serving fewer schools, serving fewer grades, and obviously that reduces the impact that the program has, and nobody wants to see that. So, but like you, the Extension Council has to make choices about their priorities and where they can allocate their funds. So that's where we're at.
Matt, are there any grants out there that you can write for these folks?
Not that I'm aware of currently right now, no. We definitely are always searching out those different opportunities. We do partner with the Extension Council on other grant opportunities that they've been able to get from the state.
Got anything with Iowa West,
They gave us 15,000 for this school year.
I guess.
We asked for 30, we got 15, and before that, they'd given us 10, and then they moved it to 15. But, so I know next year they wouldn't give us anything, but they may give them something the next year. But as a rule, if they give it to us 1 year, we have to skip a year before we ask again, so.
What about the city of Council Bluffs? Have you approached them?
We have not.
And the reason I ask is because most of these schools are in the city limits.
Yeah, we have not asked them. But we certainly could ask them.
I, you know, it's a great program. But we have requirements too, you know, it has to be economic development. And I don't see anything here. I appreciate Matt helping me with that. Uh, we've got a load, we got a load to handle, and you know, and all of these things are good projects and good things to do, but when you sit back and look at it, you know, the schools need to play a bigger part in this than we do. And so, you know, just move this forward.
I was just talking to Matt Wilbur. I believe that this is something that our forfeitures fund might be able to help with. And Matt says that, that fund can cover half of the 10,000 ask.
That's something that she'll have to get with Matt on.
Yeah, so he told me to let the board know that he can cover half of that.
Well, there you go. You got 5 of them. Yeah.
And I understand it's really difficult because you have the whole county to answer to. And there might be people that say, well, what good does this do? And I would certainly not have a problem with going to any of them and say, tell me what it doesn't do good. You know, we're just empowering these kids with the foundational pieces to be able to say no. And we have to get these kids where it's okay to tell someone no. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to go to someone and tell them what happened to you.
Sure. And if it would fall more towards the public health funding side of it, that's the direction I would ask you to consider. With that, Mr. Shea, reluctantly, I'll make a motion to deny the funding request. Based on it doesn't meet the economic development standard that we're required to follow.
Well, I certainly,
Go ahead, Susan.
I certainly see the significance of this program, and I know how valuable it is. And we do need to find funding for it somewhere, but I will second Tim's motion.
Got a motion and a second to deny the 10,000 request. Is there discussion?
So Lucy, we haven't met, but I was a police officer for 29 years. I certainly can't underscore the importance of early intervention. I mean, it's so important.
It is.
And I think this is one of those pay me now, pay me later type situations. So I'm going to vote no, and I'm going to actually suggest that we pay the extra $5,000.
Well, we have a motion. So
No, I know.
How would we get that?
I mean, we increase Matt's budget, put it in there, or does that come through your Board of Health funding?
That would be my recommendation, is that you would just do it within the public health budget, because it is from the general fund that goes all the way across the county, and just go into that line item.
Good way to do it.
This is a bad year for us financially.
I understand.
And I completely understand the board's reluctance. But again,
Absolutely.
when it comes to a child's development, I think we need to pay. And then secondly, I think it's one of those societal costs where you pay now or you pay later. And therefore, I think we should pay the extra $5,000.
Okay, I've got a motion by Wickman and a second by Miller to deny the funding of $10,000 or 5,000, excuse me. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Nay.
nay. So we're at a impasse here.
doesn't carry.
We,
Can I make my motion now?
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay the $5,000 toward the program. with,
Public health budget,
I'm sorry,
from the public health budget.
yes.
That's a budget discussion, not necessarily a board action today. I mean, you know, if that's something that Matt wants to work on, let him work on it. But anyway, there's a motion on the floor. Do what you want, Brian.
What about excess funds from the general fund?
Well, so kind of to Tim's point is when we pay things out of gaming, we have to specify that it's coming from economic development.
The general fund?
But from the general fund through public health, through the metrics that Matt was talking about, he'd just be able to fund it more, but we would have to increase his budget by 5,000 to be able to afford the additional $5,000.
Can I take a second? Can the board allow me to, before you guys do the final sign off on the budget, can I take a second look at our budget and see if we can potentially do it without increasing public health budget?
I would like that.
Be willing to do that. If the board wants. That's what.
I really think too, if you approach the city, they would certainly give you some funds.
Could you let me know who you think I should contact first?
I would contact the Council Bluffs Police Department first because they have a community outreach section.
Okay,
And I guess we can't talk now, but if you give me your contact information, I
I've
could,
got her contact.
okay,
yeah, he's got it.
I'll reach out.
Okay, thank you.
So
Lucy,
there is a motion on the floor to approve the 5,000. Is there a second? No second, so motion dies.
No, I understand.
Okay.
So Lucy, I
Yes, ma'am.
really appreciate the fact that you provide this information face to face and that the students don't learn it through social media and from all of the other channels that are out there that are more accessible to them. Have you talked with Donna Dostal at the Community Foundation for Western Iowa?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually what we did, last year, they did give us $5,000 for a new program. But unfortunately, we cannot do that program because there's only 2 of us now, and it never gave me a chance to break it down and what it was really, which I would love to have done it. It's for 5th through 8th grade, and it's about human trafficking. But we just don't have the manpower. I don't have it with me having to teach more, which I love. That's my favorite part of it, is the teaching, but that and trying to do my data and my other things, it just didn't work out. So yes, I have spoke with Donna.
Okay. Well, I think we did a letter of support for expanding your program to the 6th through 8th grade, and I never
Yes.
heard how that turned out. So I'm
Yep,
glad to
we got
hear that.
$5,000, but unfortunately, because of just not having the staff to support it, we are going to have to probably return that money.
Got a quick comment?
Yes, you might check with the Police Benefit Association too.
PACE Benefit Association? Police Benefit,
I
okay.
would like to speak on that. I was here for the drainage district, previous to this meeting. And I guess I'm puzzled. We're spending $30,000 to burn a road ditch, and she's wanting 10 on something that's very important.
It's
I
different
realize
money,
It's not out.
different money.
I understand that. I'm
Okay.
completely puzzled about, we can't afford $10,000 for a program of that.
When you take monies in government, you gotta spend it as it's laid out, mandated.
I'm a taxpayer. I'll give you my permission to take some of it.
Appreciate that.
I think it's a great program.
And this is a hard conversation, but the county through public health is giving her $15,000. So we're trying it.
I understand.
Okay,
And I know Rome wasn't built today.
okay, so no action taken.
We greatly appreciate you taking the time to allow Lucy to present about the program and the support that you've given so far through public health donation. We just really appreciate everything that you do, so.
Yes, thank you so
I'll make a
much.
call.
Okay,
I'll give him your number.
okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, Andy Wicks, engineer. Discussion and or decision to approve and authorize board chairman to sign agreement with Snyder and Associates for inspector services on the Trailblazer CO2 pipeline. Morning, Andy.
Morning. Is it okay if I sit back here?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Comfortable. So the Iowa Utilities Commission mandates that every time a company comes in and installs a new pipeline, either liquid or natural gas, that each county entity has to hire a dedicated inspector. And it specifies that the county engineer should be the one, unless the county engineer doesn't have the manpower to do it, at which point the county needs to seek outside consultant help. So we currently have an agreement written up with Snyder and Associates to be our dedicated inspector for this Trailblazer or Tallgrass pipeline, CO2 pipeline. And yeah, it's my recommendation that we go ahead and sign that to get them under contract to do inspection services for the on the county's behalf, so that this pipeline gets installed correctly.
The question I have for you on this, Andy, is the one I posed to you before. Where in this agreement does Potawatomi County receive reimbursement for their service?
So it is not explicitly laid out in this document. We need to have a separate agreement with Trailblazer to confirm payment. But on page 3, which hopefully in the study packet, page 3, 10.3 says that the consultant Snyder will be paid within 45 days of the client, which is the county, receiving payment from the pipeline. So Snyder, for lack of a better terms, is doing pro bono work until the county gets reimbursed by Trailblazer. So we, as the county, will not be paying for any inspection services until we get reimbursed by Trailblazer. So I'm not sure I answered your question.
Well, yeah, there's cost for this county to accept those funds and then wait for the money to get here and then send a check to Snyder. So that was part of the discussion that we had when this thing started, that there was going to be a 1 to 3% charge or something like that to make sure that our auditor's office is being covered for the services they provide. And I don't really care who pays this, whether it's Snyder or the pipeline company, but we need to have that in this agreement. Why don't we?
That would be in the agreement with the pipeline company, because they're the ones who are paying us, and that should be, that extra fee for administration should be in that agreement.
When are we gonna get that one?
Kristen, this says as per Iowa Utility Board mitigation plan and Iowa code. Does it have anything in there about that? Do you know?
I don't know that it specifically talks to the administration fees or costs. I can double check, but I don't believe that that's in there.
Okay.
We had this discussion when everybody was in here. I didn't say everybody.
Yeah, I remember this part of the discussion. What was the way that the process was going to flow at that time was that Snyder is going to send their bill to Potawatomi County, right, of what the inspection services cost. Potawatomi County's auditor's office then would prepare our invoice to then send over to the pipeline company. And at that point in time is when we would have our 5% administration fee onto that bill. So then that way, when it comes back across, then we have our 5% administration fee. The check goes to Snyder for their inspection services that they provide.
We agreed to a 5%.
That's totally
Oh.
just. We talked about administration fee. We have administration fees anywhere from 5 to 15% when we run contracts. So
Okay. We won't hold Snyder accountable for that.
No, like it's sent back to the pipeline company. And I think if you go back and reference the state code, I think that it does mention something in there about the county being able to assess administrative fees to that. It doesn't give a specific, I don't know that it gave a specific number to that portion of it, but what's that? Maria left. There's a person that comes around and does the fringe rates of what the costs are, the cost calculations for each department. So you would more than likely use that cost calculation for the auditor's office. You know what I'm talking about, Mitch?
Cassie or Cossie?
I think so, yeah.
Just cost advisory services.
Yes. So you would want to use that percentage rate on the invoice, would be my suggestion.
That would be
What's-
paid by the CO2 pipeline company. That would not be.
Right.
That wouldn't be in the invoice we get from Snyder. We would add that as we submit and pass that on to.
What's the board want to do on this?
What's the timeline for starting the project? Are the permits were approved? That's my understanding.
Correct, Susan.
Is
I
that
believe they're breaking ground, very soon. I believe they're staging things now. They're ready to go. The permits
'Cause
have
I was
been
thinking
issued.
I was thinking Iowa code was pretty specific as to this requirement that the pipeline companies would be responsible for paying for inspections. But I can't remember the fee language, the admin fee. Can we table this a week? You think we have time?
We got time?
I don't think, I don't have any issues moving forward with this contract, right?
No, I think this contract's fine.
Yeah, this contract as is fine. And I can come back to the board and come up with a fee schedule that makes sense that we pass on. to
All right.
Trailblazer,
With,
I like that.
because of the Iowa Utilities Commission, the Iowa code does not specify a percent, with a reasonable percent.
well, we selected Snyder over a year ago,
Yes, we did.
so I'll move that for you, Brian.
Okay,
I'll second.
you. Got a motion and a second to approve Snyder and Associates for inspection services on the Trailblazer CO2 pipeline. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Next up, Andy Wicks, discussion and or decision to approve and authorize board to sign resolution 17/2026 regarding perpetual and temporary easements of Potawatomi County secondary roads maintenance facility located at 25103 Railroad Highway in the city of Underwood, Iowa.
Have to have this, it should be in the study packet as well, but it is just a map
Yeah.
of.
Did you get paid for this, Andy?
We are handing out the papers? No,
No, I'm talking about these.
As is currently written with the city of Underwood, is that the county will get a new fence, a 6-foot fence
Oh,
along
awesome.
the new property line. So
That'll help keep the ditch from having to be redone, correct?
correct. So yeah, in transferring this to the city of Underwood, the county will basically relinquish the responsibility of maintaining the ditch. And it is the county's understanding that the city will install a trail in this permanent easement. And then the temporary 5-foot easement that is also included in this will be used as a construction.
And this is for the bicycle trail moving through Underwood, the city of.
Correct. So the county is planning on installing a trail connecting south of here up to Underwood. And this helped the city install their portion by providing the right of way required to install the trail.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a 10-foot easement. I talked to our construction foreman, or sorry, our maintenance foreman who's in charge of this shop and confirmed that giving up this land will not inhibit our ability to operate out of the Underwood facility. Because that was one concern, is how much room can we give up? And we were comfortable giving up the permanent 10-foot and an additional 5-foot during construction. And it is in the agreement with the city that they will pay for a new fence on the west side of our property.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 17/2026.
Second,
And where is, you've got that agreement signed?
So this is step one, or it should have included it. It should be in the study packet, but it's.
I didn't see it.
Okay, I can get it to you. Yeah. Or should I get it to you? It should, oh. I can send it. We can
Is it in
for
there?
next week.
I don't have any trouble with this,
No.
with this resolution and the grant of easements. But if you say that they're going to provide a new fence to the county, that should be written somewhere.
Yep, and in the actual document that you guys are gonna sign, if this is approved, says,
Yeah.
and sorry if I didn't get this to you. but
Oh, I see.
Step
Okay.
one, consideration, upon the completion of construction, the city to have installed a new
Okay.
6-foot.
You mentioned it, you mentioned an agreement. I thought there was something besides this.
Nope, that's the same thing. Sorry, I misspoke.
Okay, I got a motion and a second to approve resolution number 17/2026. Would you do a roll call, please, Jamie?
Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman,
Sure.
Supervisor Miller,
aye.
Supervisor Jones.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks for your work on that. They're excited about this. This is for the trail going through, the bicycle trail going through Underwood. Okay. Next up, Matt Wyatt, Director of Planning and Development. Discussion and/or decision to transfer building permit fee overages to the city, county, and impact fund at the end of fiscal year 25-26.
Yes, so this is just an attempt to bring awareness that we have crossed the threshold of our budgeted revenue amount of $250,000 building permit fees for the planning department for the 25-26 fiscal year. And we created the impact fund back in 2019. It was meant for those building permit fee overages to go into, and then the board can use for economic development pieces out in rural Potawatomi County for that. And in order to do so, we need to make sure that this was just an attempt to make sure that we let the auditor's office know when they get ready towards the end of the fiscal year to plan for the transfers of funds, to make sure that they plan that the board has authorized and approved them to transfer these funds over $250,000. Currently, we are $77,372 above our $250,000 mark on there. All I'm here for today to let you know, there's no transfer of funds today, just that you would be given your future approval towards the end of the year, that the auditor's office would be okay to prepare those resolutions. And we would have a final number at that point in time.
Need a motion to approve.
Make that motion.
Second,
Second.
okay. Discussion?
Matt, are you gonna come back to us? The additionally at the end of your letter that you provided us, I want some more
Your
discussion.
recommendation.
Pardon me?
That's purely just a recommendation on there.
We need to have a discussion on that. A big one. A big discussion on that.
Yes, it is a part of a much bigger discussion because it's a change in initiative. So my recommendation at the end of it was that what Advanced Southwest Iowa and Iowa West new initiative that they're taking on, which is going to be to get some commercial and industrial sites shovel ready in Pottawatomie County. It's one thing that we lack. We don't have anything that's shovel ready to go. The VIBE program, it was the city's program, went to the VIBE program. Those things are going away and it's going to transition. And I hadn't talked to Paula or Brenda about this when sending my recommendation to you all. I just heard about it in the meetings. I think it's a good thing to do. We, in our office, we get a number of complaints of people who are operating businesses off of their property, right? And it's because they don't necessarily have some place that they can go operate their business off of. And so this would be an initiative to get sites shovel ready, whether they be large, small, new industry coming into Pottawatomie County, industry that's already here expanding in Pottawatomie County. Obviously, we would want to do things like make sure that we, in our agreements with them, that it would be rural sites. It wouldn't necessarily be inside Council Bluffs. It wouldn't be inside any of the communities, and it's not because I don't think that growing those areas is not good for the county. It's just because these funds in particular, we know from the state auditor's office, have to be used rurally. So it could be sites next to communities that they then, once they're ready and grow, then they annex them in. But we just, as a county, we have to use them rurally. But that is part of a much larger discussion because it is a new initiative taking off. I don't know that it's all formulated up yet, but something I believe could be good for the county.
Good. Okay. I got a motion by Jones, a second by Wickman to transfer the building permit fee overages at the end to the impact fund at the end of the fiscal year 25-26. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Ms. Kai, Mayor, City of McClellan, discussion under decision to approve and authorize the board to sign joint resolution number 16/2026 with the City of McClellan entitled clarifying jurisdiction and maintenance responsibility for a farm to market road segment and or 28E. Andy? Edge?
Sure. I mean, I'll kind of lead it off here. I think let's get started with. So I think it was 2004 is when the state law changed where farm to market roads in cities with less than 500 people were supposed to become the control and maintenance by the county. There was kind of an agreement between our former mayor and two engineers ago. There was nothing ever signed. It was just a letter that had an X on it. That's all we could find for any type of documentation. But in the meantime, since then, the roads department has transferred somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 a year for what the road use tax is. So in that meantime, we've resurfaced it several times. We put in culverts and drainage and all that good stuff. Just kind of with the costs and that stuff, we would like that to revert back to county control. And that's kind of, that's exactly why that law was, set up in the first place, because, we just don't have the bandwidth to take care of roads as well as the county can. With that, the city council of McClellan last Tuesday approved the joint resolution that you guys have in your packet there. Since then, I believe the county attorney's office, Kristen and Andy, have kind of gone through and redlined my agreement that we had approved. And then also there was a 28E agreement here. So I don't know exactly how this stands if the board passes it, if I have to take it back to my city council to have that redone. I mean, there's a few concerns I have with some of the redlined things in it that I'd be happy to work with Andy or discuss right now. Doesn't matter to me.
Well, if we're not ready to,
I don't see the red lines.
if I had a little bit of discussion with Andy and Kristen on this, and in our previous meeting, when we discussed the issue with the city of Neola, we said, hey, let's find a way and get a 28E agreement that binds the parties
Mhm.
and tell us eliminated. And I think that that's the way that this board member would like to see us move forward is with the 2080 agreement. And the one that Christian put, and you sent it to everybody, didn't you? Yeah.
I just don't have my electronic out.
I didn't have any issues with that 2080 agreement. I don't know if that's something that you want to take to your city council or?
Well, with the 2080 agreement, if that's fine if we want to go that way. I mean, basically, the state code defers that I don't even need an agreement, right, for the farm to market.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm-
I mean, basically, I mean,
Absolutely.
I could argue that that other agreement isn't a real agreement and it would just fall back to the county anyway. I mean, kind of, but I'm not going to. We're gonna do this a different way. My only concern, and this is what I guess I kind of wanted to ask Andy about, was, I know in my agreement that we had mentioned from, county maintenance from sidewalk to sidewalk. And in your guys' agreement, you're saying just the 26 feet of travel for the main roadway. And I'm okay with that through all of town, with the exception of between First Street and Second Street, just that one block, which basically it's 500 feet. And that it's about, I think it's 55 foot wide right through there. So that'd be in front of my fire station, my city hall, and 4 out of the 5 businesses that are in town. If, it comes to a point where you're gonna come back and resurface it, I don't want 12 feet on each side of that not done, right, at that point in time. And then with that too, if you're plowing snow, if you just do the travel way through there, you're gonna put a windrow of snow right in front of my fire doors, if you guys are the first ones there. So I was hoping the county would do the maintenance just between First and Second Street for the whole width, and then the farm to market road, the 26 feet or whatever it is that was laid out in that 2080.
Do we have a similar agreement at this time with Hancock?
I don't know. that
And
we have a-
Macedonia.
I don't know that we have a similar
Andoni?
agreement with any of the cities, but
Oh.
the plan is to get one similar with all of the cities that this would apply to. So I think Susan had mentioned, reaching out to Macedonia. They might be a good next city to get involved in. I have no problem drafting an agreement for all of the cities, and then having them all approve it. And I think having everybody kind of on the same page would be beneficial.
Absolutely.
In that agreement, Mitch, I agree with Christian and Andy. And if you look at the whole county and the cities where either a farm to market road or a county road goes through their town, if we maintain the public parking spaces for you, then we need to fix the ones in Neola. And we need to fix the ones in Minden, which are outside the scope of our right of way. So I think that, I don't really want the county to be responsible for parking spaces in towns.
And this is only for towns under a population of 500? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So it wouldn't apply to Neola and Minden?
Well, that's true. Wouldn't, either way,
I mean,
I think if there ever comes a point where they need to still code that road through town, then, somebody's gonna have to pay for the parking
So
spaces.
I know that we've done, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I know that we've done separate agreements. Like I've seen a lot of separate agreements in the past about specific projects. So if for some reason we're going to go through town and redo that section of the road, I think that McClellan and the county can agree to, also fix, whatever else McClellan needs to have for that.
because the cost of just doing, like I said, the 12 foot on each side of what the right of way would be.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be like, probably 10 or 15,000. That's 25% of my entire city budget.
Yeah, no,
Right,
I
so-
think that that's a really common thing that I've seen in some of the agreements I've looked through is that when that's coming through, there's some extra specifications that are provided so that the city doesn't have to have a huge expenditure just to do what's left over. No, I think that the county, and again, don't want to speak out of turn, but wants to continue to have a positive relationship with the
Oh, yeah,
students.
yeah, and I don't want snow piled up in front of my fire
Yeah,
department. or
yeah,
anything,
absolutely.
right?
Well,
I mean,
I think-
that's a big problem, so.
I, again, don't want to speak out of turn for our snow removal,
Mhm.
but I believe that the way the agreement is written is that the snow removal will be done in the same way that it should be done anywhere else in the county. And I don't think that we would ever pile up snow in front of a fire station. So if we need to adjust the verbiage on that to.
Yeah, we can rework the agreement. I don't think you guys should do anything today.
I was gonna say,
So, I
I
mean,
mean, we probably need some more discussion with you guys before we do anything today, so.
Which we should do for each town, however we do it. We've got to do it for those other 2 towns.
Correct, yeah, we
Well,
want,
and I think they tested G30 last year when they paved from 59 out to the new bridge there in Hancock. And how they worked with the businesses and married up the pavements. And I think that was a good example of how the county works well with the cities.
so we did the sidewalk design for Hancock. And I'm not sure what the cost sharing was on that, if the county ended up paying for all that, but that was kind of an additional. We're not gonna hurt the small towns.
So do we need to tweak this agreement?
My recommendation would be that we do not vote on the resolution today, and that Kristen and I will work on a 28E and get that over to Mitch, and we can work on appropriate language, and then we can bring that in front of the board
Okay,
after it's mutually agreed upon.
Yep.
And our office.
Makes sense.
You okay with that?
Yeah, good with that.
All right. Mr. Lockhart?
cool, thank you. Stuff down here. Hey. Chief Financial Officer, discussion and or decision to authorize chair to sign the forgiveness portion of the small town forgivable note for Minden.
So this is our last city for the forgiveness of $125,000 that the county provided to each of the small towns from the ARPA funds. Minden's project was, I believe, some sewer and wastewater lines. They provided all the documentation showing that they exceeded the $125,000 in costs. So I would recommend approving this last one.
Okay,
So moved.
got a motion, I
Second.
need a second, okay. Discussion? Questions? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Those opposed? Motion carried. I meant to say aye. Discussion under decision to approve multi-county 2080 agreement regarding juvenile detention center and emergency juvenile services. Who's got this, Mitch?
This one's
Okay.
Kristen,
Who's all on this agreement? All the counties that are on this? Is there 3 or 4?
no, there's 7 or 11, right?
There's quite a few.
9.
Check.
Our man that goes there is not here.
I briefly reviewed it. I know it's the same agreement that's been in place for quite some time.
Did you see on there?
It has not been changed.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yes.
think when I first started here, I reviewed it in detail, and it was fine then. So this year I just kind of glanced, there are no changes, so. Do you have any specific questions other than how many counties there are?
Okay.
Look into that.
The one question I had as I went through it, and I'm trying to find it right now, they give 1% administrative fee to Potawatomi County. Is that enough? I mean, I'm not on that board.
Jeff is, and he's gone today. What's the board want to do here?
Well, is this time sensitive?
I don't believe that the board has to approve it today. I think it's just kind of a, I think this agreement will be approved by the boards. I think it was Jeff, you said is on the.
Yes.
Or on that board. So when they have their meeting, that's when it will be approved.
Okay. Then bring it back to us.
I'm not quite sure how that usually works, but if there are any issues with it, I think we can give them a heads up before their meeting.
I think we table it until Jeff comes.
I don't know that we've ever reviewed this since I've been on the board.
I don't recall it.
This isn't a yearly thing that we do. It was adopted in 1994, or revised in 1994. And I don't know if I've seen it.
I think he just went to that like a week or two ago. He talked about it. Shall we let it lie till next week when he's back?
Yeah, I mean, that gives
We can
me
ask some questions.
Find that 1%. I mean, in 1994, about 1% might have been enough.
It's pretty low.
It is pretty low.
Susan, you got any questions, any comments?
Well, I mean, all the counties are being squeezed. And I haven't looked at the budget, the operating budget for a year or so on this group. So if we table it, I can get my questions answered anyway. But I'm not
All right.
sure if there's some room in the budget for an additional admin cost, but we can look into it.
All right, then we'll let it live till next week.
We could also invite Melissa here to present. She's the director of Southwest
Yeah.
Iowa Juvenile Detention.
That's a
That'd be
great
good.
idea.
I think their meeting's March 18th. So as long as we get it done.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Okay. 1, 2, 3 weeks.
You meet monthly.
Good to you.
Yes, they do.
All right, next up, Steve Winchell, Chief Deputy, Sheriff's Office, and Jasmine Elmore, Director of Human Resources. Discussion and or decision to approve the job description and pay for the office clerk civil division position. Hello,
Hello.
everybody. How we doing?
Doing great.
Good, thank you.
This is 3 years in the making. We've brought this up the last few budget cycles, and we had discussion with you all and the need. So I don't know if we need to rehash it again, but we did have 2 more stacks delivered from our new law office. So we're currently sitting on about 1,000 garnishments right now that need to be entered. So this will
Thank you, Jasmine.
continue to help with the work that gets done in our civil division.
Everything's good here, Jasmine?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Is this is the new position
This is,
This is the new position, yes.
split?
Yep, the split position.
Yes.
What step and grade is that?
so it is a grade 1, step 1.
Same
So
as
that
the,
position.
same as the
other
office
one.
clerks there. 2138 starting,
How much?
2138.
That step and grade is grade 1,
Grade
step
one.
1.
For their area.
Oh,
For part of our union contract, that's what she's referring to. It's different than the county tables, I think,
Correct.
that you're thinking of, Tim. It would be within our, those civil clerks are part of our deputies association. So that would be spelled out in the union contract, not the,
how'd you know what I was thinking?
Yeah. So your gears turning.
That's his job.
been here enough and I kind of thought that's where your brain might have gone. Because you're looking at grade 1 and not like a 522 or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jasmine, have
So-
we posted this?
Have we?
Yeah.
This,
No,
no.
no.
Okay.
Is that how you're posting it? Grade
As
1, step 1?
it'll be,
It'll be the number.
The dollar amount.
Yeah, the dollar amount.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Is this what you want it to look like? Are you hiring 1 or 2 of these people?
just the one.
This is the split one.
Yeah.
So what do you want from us today?
the approval to hire them.
You want this, do you like
Yesterday.
this? Is this your recommendation, Steve?
Yes, sir.
I'll do that for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Quick question.
Sure.
This person's going to be dealing with the sex abuse registry, right?
Yep.
And talking to those people as well?
Yep.
Correct.
Will he or she be warned about that?
It's
It's in the job
the,
description.
it's in the job description.
Yes.
I read it quickly.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep, no, it's right at the top. We want them to be very well informed of their duties in the position and who they will be interacting with. And the position provides the dedicated support to their current civil sergeant who
Yeah.
performs these operations, so.
And this person will not be face to face with them. It's telephone and maybe through the glass at the front window. As they're the go-between for our investigator that runs this whole program.
Make sure they know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
They should. And that'll be something in the interview as well, because they've got approximately like 360 that they're currently monitoring on the registry.
Yep.
So this provides the opportunity for that civil sergeant to allocate the resources where they need to be and focus more on the investigative work.
I'll second Tim's motion.
Motion and a second to approve the job description and pay for the office clerk civil division position. Any discussion, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Great news.
Thanks for coming up. Okay. Next up is the committee appointments. Pete?
I went to my first airport authority meeting. They're looking at taking on a major new leasing. I don't know if they want it known who it is, but it's going to be big for them, so they were excited about that. The second thing they brought up was they met with the new mayor who was proposing a new park, a city park. I believe it would be on the east side of the airport. And some of the authority members thought that was kind of strange since it was next, they would have a park next to the airport. But this park would be substantial enough that it would have pickleball courts, basketball courts, and other things. And I found it kind of strange too, since it would primarily be out in the county. But that's what they're working on.
Okay, thank you. See, I done the WIDA meeting, the CB, Council Bluffs Leadership, presented to them, map of finance, done some union meetings. There's an ATV meeting for that park. And then,
What park is that? Is that the one down?
down by the river.
Is that gonna reopen then?
We've been working on it. We gotta work with the Corps of Engineers, and that's not an easy deal.
Is it close or no? Is there a time frame?
It's getting closer. The Corps moves slowly, okay? And they let that, permit slip on the floods. And since it slipped, you can't go back to that. You gotta apply for a new one. So we're in the process. That's through conservation. And the state will fund it 100% with an employee, actually 2 employees. And that comes from the sticker you buy for off-road vehicles. They've got 8 parks around the state, and this was one they used to fund, and it went away. And during the flood area, those people went away, and then there was a few that came back and tried to get that going, and that's what we're involved in at this time. So it's good for economic development. There's a lot of things that people are talking about, so it's good. Susan?
I had WIDA meeting, Golden Hills RC&D board meeting, and then I've been in DC at the NACO conference since Friday.
Did you get
Thank
snow
you.
there?
A little bit yesterday.
What are you learning, Susan?
Oh, the list is long. You just wait till you get your new to-do list, Keith.
Cool. Tim?
No.
Okay. All right. Public comments. Anybody got any? Next up, we got a closed session.
I'll move to go into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 20.17, discussion decision on labor negotiations, collective bargaining.
Second the motion.
Will you do a roll call, please?
Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman,
Aye.
Supervisor Jones,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
Hi.
Susan, do you want me to call you back?
Through Zoom or on my phone?
I'll call you from, it'll be on your phone.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna take a couple minute break.